Let me bring in Dankana Moa, who is Executive Director of COPEC. Dankana Moa, I'm grateful for your time. I mean, we envisaged an increase, but not this fast. At least we're looking at the month end of March. Why are we here now?
Well, Aisha, the same problem for which we've been discussing over a year now. Nothing is being done. Nobody is acting. Nobody is interested. And unfortunately, the ones to bear the brunt of all of this themselves are not even interested. The government, it continues to remain the single largest consumer, looking at how much fuel it has to pay for the police, for the military, for other security agencies and the work they do, Office of Government Machinery, ministries, departments, agencies, state-owned enterprises, appointees of the government who would need to be fueled to go about their duties. If it was 5 cities, the cost will be less on government. When it's 8 cities, you are almost doubling what you would have paid at 4 or 5 cities. So clearly, the one to pay the highest price for all of this is the central government. Unfortunately, memos to the finance ministry has either not been read or been read and ignored completely. And so, no intervention, nothing, no policy direction as far as sustaining fuel prices for Ghanaians is concerned. Unfortunately, the commercial transport operators are also being held in the middle to ransom by the transport ministry. Let me put on record, that ministry has no business determining transport fares for our transport operators. That transport ministry, that era where we had price of petrol regulated, and so the finance minister comes to parliament to read the budget and indicates how much fuel will be sold for the year and indicates how much transport fare between Accra, Kumasi, Accra, Takrady, Accra, Cape Coast. You know, that era is long gone. You cannot deregulate fuel prices and say people should buy fuel at the pumps based on certain numbers. Then when the prices go up, they need to increase their fares. You say they should come and sit for a meeting. Meeting on what? Exactly. And so they themselves are probably also not getting the drift. But you cannot continue to go to a certain ministry that has no provision for your input cost and say that they should determine how much transport fare you charge. It is akin to telling the tomato seller, right, to sell his tomatoes for 1 cedi, because if you go to 2 cedis or 3 cedis, the people will suffer. If the input cost or variables are lower, the tomato price will be lower. If the input cost is way too high, you cannot expect them to continue to charge fares at the time when fuel prices was about 4 cedi 70, 4 cedi 80. You cannot continue to insist that they charge as though you are selling fuel to them at 5 cedis. It is now almost 8 cedis. That era ought to end. I have told the transport operators they need to get a standard charging template, one that gives you an indication cost per head per kilometer, so that if somebody is boarding a car that does a 10-kilometer stretch and you know the cost per kilometer per head is 40 pesos, you know that is 4 cedis. You don't even have to go this back and forth. We'll give you 5 pesos, we'll give you 10%, we'll give you 20%, and now they themselves are also operating arbitrary. And so it gives them that heinous job to go and say, off the top of their heads, we'll do 30%. It's not scientific. Of all of this, Aisha, it is the poor person that is stuck in between. The finance minister's apparent negligence as far as fuel prices on the Ghanaian pumps is concerned is pushing all of us to a very difficult place. The transport operators are also held to ransom by a transport minister who would now have to sit with them and say, oh, we'll agree 10%. Fuel prices, just between the end of the year last year, 2021, as of December, we were selling fuel for around 6.6. As we speak, it's gone to about 8, almost 8. And so if you do the math, You are doing almost 20% just within the past 2 months. What else can you hold these guys to ransom for? And insist that they should charge 10%. I mean, Aisha, nothing seems to make sense anymore in this country. And the numbers that we throw about, unfortunately, is unscientific. As far as the interaction between the transport ministry and the transport operators is concerned. Then back to the fuel price thing. Nothing is being done.
Abbas Moro, let me ask you this, Abbas Moro. How soon are we going to see increase in fares? Do we still have Abbas Moro?
Yes, I'm on.
Yes, I'm asking how soon are we going to see increase in prices, transport fares?
From 26th of this May.
Sorry?
We intend any kind at all from 26th of this May, 26th February, we intend coming out of this, the upward adjustment.
All right. And okay, so this February, but you're not sure exactly when, right?
That is what we have intended to announce our upward adjustment.
Mr. Abbas Moro, I think we did not hear what you said in the last few...
I say, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
I say we intend coming out on 26th of this May.
26th of February?
Yes.
Okay, with new fares?
Yes, by which time we might have concluded everything.
Okay. Duncan, are we going to see more increase? Because this is the second pricing window, right?
Yes, Aisha. This is the second pricing for February, and already we have done 5 spot of increases for 2022. And so, give or take, given the trajectory on the international market, given the cedi's apparent free fall, it is safe to predict that 1st of March, prices will go up again because nothing whatsoever is being done. The finance ministry will want to continue to treat the enhanced revenue that it is getting from upstream as though it was additional revenue that it should go ahead and use for other things. If it does not put the two on the table, which is the upstream sales and the downstream pressures, if it does not put the two and use part of the overbearing windfalls that we are getting, because we had projected $62.5, it's now $95.
All right, so Duncan Amwa is the executive director of COPEC, and he is projecting that there could be increase in fuel prices again by first week of March if the finance ministry doesn't do the needful. Let's take a break on JoyNews Desk. We'll return with the very latest from the world of business.